In this video, I'm going to show you how I opened my Sony E-Mount APS-C zoom lens. I had some fungus on the top lens. It was so I wanted to open it to clean the lens, the inside lens. So this is how I went about it. The only tools I'll be using is this screwdriver kit. All you need is a Phillips one and Phillips one star head and any flathead screwdriver. I'll be also using a blower to blow out some dust. You don't really need it, but it's always good to have. It's really cheap. You can buy it off Amazon. My friend lens ring over there was already broken, so it was easy for me to just pick it up, pull it out. Otherwise, you can see there are dots on the corners, and you can put a screwdriver in there and remove the clips and take out the front ring. There are 3 clips over there. Another one over there. Another one over there. Those are the clips. 3 clips. So you could put your flathead screwdriver in there and push them in so those clips will get unlocked. Then you can just pull them out. Because mine was already broken, I could just pull it out with my fingernails. But hopefully yours isn't broken like mine, you can use a screwdriver to unclip those, push them in, unclip them, then you can just pull them out. I'll be using Phillips one star head screwdriver to take out those screws. This is the standard screwdriver, so it's pretty easy to find. You should use a flathead screwdriver to remove the clips. Now I'm going to unscrew the 3 screws that are on there. Just take them out one by one. The 3 screws, just remove them. Remember where you keep your screws, don't lose them. Those are the holes for the 3 screws. Now if you remove your screw, you can just do that. You pull that, you can pull it up, push it out, and you can take off that cover. This will reveal 3 screws on the side. There will be 2 springs corresponding to each screw, so be careful. That's the first one, that's the second one. That's the third one. There are 3 screws over there. And the springs, as I've said before. 2 springs for each screw. Then you take your Phillips 1 star head screwdriver again, and you can go ahead and loosen these screws. There isn't a lot of thread on it, but you can loosen it. But be careful that those springs don't jump out at you, so be extremely careful. A couple of rotation will be enough. Even though I did a lot, won't really do much. Just loosen them at this point, don't take them out. Just loosen all 3 of them. Next step is to take out your flathead screwdriver again and gently wedge them between the body and the screw and pull those screws out slowly and carefully. Make sure those springs don't jump out at you. Remember where you keep your screws. Once again, you should be careful not to lose your screws. You can see it has a very little thread. These screws manage the tension on the springs. As you rotate the screw, you can see the spring loosening and tightening as you rotate. So rotate the screws until the springs are at the loosest point. Then use your flathead screwdriver, take them out. If the springs are tight when you take out the lens, the springs could jump and go somewhere else and lose your springs. So be extremely careful. You can see the 6 springs. Be extremely careful when you take it out. Make sure all your windows are closed. Look, I lost 2 springs already. One went into the lens, another one fell on the ground. So be extremely careful. This is when I started panicking when I lost those springs, but thankfully was able to find both the springs. Okay, I found the screws. At this point, I found all the springs and the screws. I put them in 3 different sections, so be careful, look after your screws and your springs. Don't lose anything. I magnetize my screwdrivers by rubbing it against a magnet, so you could easily pick up those springs. If you have a magnet lying around, just rub the screwdriver against it. The screwdriver will get magnetized, and you'll be able to pick up those springs easily. That's the front lens element. It has 2 lenses, one on top and one on the bottom. These are glued together, so you won't be able to take them apart any further. If there's any fungus in between them, you won't be able to clean it, but you can only clean the top lens and the bottom lens. There's a small air hole you can see at the side. That's where air can get in. That's the place where fungus can get in. So be extremely, you won't be able to do anything about the fungus that's in between the front lens and the bottom lens in the front element. just use a microfiber cloth to clean it. Also check for dust on the lens on the inside. That's the ring we took out earlier. I'm going to close everything up to keep the dust away. I just closed the mechanism and kept it there so that any more dust won't come in. So while I clean the fungus-ridden lens front element, both the front lens, the bottom of the second lens, and the top of the first lens. I used a microfiber cloth and water. I don't think you should be using alcohol. Alcohol might wear out the coating on your lens. You can also use a lens cleaning liquid. If you use cleaning liquid, that won't leave streaks. If you use water, that might leave streaks, but with a lot of patience, you'll be able to clean it out. I recommend you use cleaning liquid, but since I didn't have any at that time, I just used water. Only a little bit of water, not a lot of water. I didn't put the lens under a tap or anything. I just used a moist microfiber cloth to clean it. This is extremely bad because you don't want moisture on your lens. Moisture is what causes fungus growth, so you should always dry it out before putting it back into the lens. I've put it outside in the sun for a couple of minutes before I reassemble it, at least an hour, I think. So make sure it's dry because moisture is what causes fungus growth. I also saw some dust inside on the inside element. Thankfully there wasn't any fungus over there. So I took my air blower and blew it there to make sure that the dust was gone. Make sure you blow it out a couple of times before you blow it into the lens so that any dust inside the blower thing doesn't get sprayed into the lens. You want to do the opposite, so push it, pump it, push the air, blow the air a couple times outside, then use it inside. Now let's put everything back together. Just expand the lens. So zoom out. Align the holes perfectly. Remember to put in the springs. Now you can take out the springs, use the magnetized screwdriver, take them out one by one, and carefully put them on each of the stubs. 6 springs, 6 stubs. Now that that's done, you can take the front element back. Look at those holes. Line the holes and carefully put it back. Make sure the springs are still there. Take your Phillips 1-star head screwdriver and carefully pushing it down, carefully align the holes. Rotate the screw until the spring is tight. As you rotate them, the springs oscillate, expanding and shrinking. You can come back and tighten later too. Second screw. Tighten that one as well. Here you can see the spring is tight. Check again that all the springs are tight. Take the third and last screw. tighten that one as well until the springs are tight. Make sure all the springs are tight. As you rotate, the springs shrink and go back, so make sure you stop at the point where the spring is the shortest and most tight. I got my ring stuck in there, so you can easily rotate it and take it out. I got that out, and you can place it back. Look at those holes, align them with the stubs on top. There are holes for stubs and the holes for screws. Make sure you put the stubs through the holes that are made for stubs and not the other way around. I made that mistake and I had to take it out and put back again. That's the stub. Find the hole for the stub, not for the screw. That's the hole for the stub. There's only one way you can put it right. There's only one correct way to put it. So make sure you put it the right way. Don't put the stub through the screw holes. That can try to avoid that. Stubs through the holes for the stubs. That's what I want you to remember. Don't put it the other way around. Now you can take the screws and take the Phillips #1 star head. You put the screws back in exactly how you took it out. Put the screws through their corresponding holes. As long as you haven't accidentally put the stub in the wrong place, everything will screw in perfectly. You can see the holes. That's the screw, that's for the stub. Now for the third screw, make sure you put the screws through the right holes. This is something you have to be really careful at. Don't put screws through the holes for the stubs. Tighten all those screws. Now you're almost done. You just have to put in the top ring cover. That's the ring. Mine's slightly broken. Just align the clips with the corresponding holes and push it in. That's the nubbin. You can see the clips. Align the clips. Those are the holes for the clips, and push it in. Just make sure the clips go in perfectly. Mine's broken. That's why it took a couple of attempts. Otherwise, if you make sure all the 3 clips fall in and your step goes through the hole. If there's any problem, it's most likely you put the screw through the wrong hole. Look there, those are the clips, the nubbin at the end. So make sure you haven't accidentally put a screw through the hole for the nubbin. Now just push it in so that all the clips lock in. That's it. You're done. Now the lens is clean. I took out the fungus. So, okay. Another thing you should keep in mind is I was able to get rid of the fungus this way, but it's better to not have fungus grow in the first place. So I've gone by Sony's recommendations on their website and got myself a dry box. You can buy a bigger, like a real dry box. I just bought an airtight container. Put some silica gel packets, a hygrometer to measure the humidity. It's fairly cheap. You can buy it off Amazon, and put my camera and lenses in there. You need your humidity between 40% and 50% according to Sony. So you can check the hygrometer that the humidity isn't lower or higher. If the humidity goes too low, the lubricants in the lenses might dry out, and that might cause problems. So you can use the hygrometer to check the humidity and make sure it's between 40 and 50%. What I usually do is wait till the humidity goes to 40%, then quickly take out the silica gel and close it up. That way the humidity doesn't go down further. And I hope this video was useful. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment if you have any queries. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you.